So, now we've got that out of the way, we can do some meditation. Or rather, to talk about it first, and then do it. The talk comes first. We don't walk the talk. We sit the talk, which is much better. There's not a word for that. Nothing rhymes with it, except those naughty words. So now, first of all, many of you, I don't know if you've seen this, an article which was going around, was sent to me, that the Wimbledon tennis had just been finished, and the person who won this, Novak Djokovic, had a picture of him, an article, that every morning during the tournament he was visiting the very close by Thai Buddhist temple in Wimbledon to meditate every morning. And they would sometimes open the hall up for him so that he could go and meditate in the peace and quiet before the big matches. And of course, he won, which means that you come here a few days, and then who knows, you may be able to win the next, not Wimbledon, what's the next one which comes up?
The US.
American, yeah, go on, US Open. Give it a try. If it works for Novak, why can't it work for Rachel? Because we do need a few champions in Australia. We haven't got any at the moment, and the reason is because they don't come to the Armadale group to learn how to meditate. So, and he does that, he was saying, because it's nice and peaceful, it relaxes him, so that when he goes onto the court, obviously incredibly high stress, he can relax and play his game properly. And it's one of the reasons why, whether it's Novak Djokovic or anyone throughout the world, we learn how to meditate so that we can do our job to a much higher standard than we do before. Or if we have no job and we retire, we can do retirement to a much higher level than the ordinary person. So whatever it does, it keeps us happy, peaceful, and also healthy. The number of health benefits in meditation, as Rachel will attest to because she's been sick last 2 weeks. What have you been up to, Rachel? You're supposed to be an example of health and happiness and fitness, and you've been sick.
I haven't had a cold for over 5 years.
Only 5 years. That's nothing. Okay, fair enough. But I remember there we go again. I remember I used to teach meditation down at the prison in Carnet. And after a few years teaching down there, I was sick. And I went to the doctors in Byford, just down the road. And I was sitting in there, just waiting for my name to be called out. I've got a very difficult name, so it takes a long time to call out. So sometimes they don't call me Ajahn Brahm, they call me Mr. Monk. It's much easier to call. That's happened to me before. Anyway, then one of the prison officers comes in, and he takes one look at me and says, "I never expected to see you in here." And I thought, my goodness, where am I? I'm in some pub or a brothel or, a casino. And it made me feel so guilty being sick. Just because I meditated, they thought people who meditate don't get sick. Yeah, of course we do get sick, but it doesn't last that long. And we get healthy very quickly. Because meditation does allow the mind to make the body peaceful. When the body becomes peaceful, it has huge amounts of health benefits. Now this is just starting on this. This is why we meditate, how we meditate. The first benefit is good health. Because we learn how to relax our body. So many people in today's world, they've lost the art of relaxing. You're always so tense and worried. There was this fellow who went to the psychologist because he had some problems and said, "What's your problem?" You know what's coming, don't you? One of Ajahn Brahm's bad jokes. And he went to the psychologist and said, "Sometimes I've got this thought in my head that I am a marquee." You know what you have on these events? He said, "Other times I think I'm a wigwam." He said, "I never heard this before. Sometimes you think you're a wigwam and sometimes you think you're a marquee." And he said, "I know your problem. You're too tense. If you want to leave now, the door is at the end. Please take your belongings with you. But it's true that most people are too tense. It's why you can't sleep at night. We just had a meditation retreat I was teaching last week, and the people were complaining that when they were meditating in the hall, they were falling asleep. When they went to bed, they couldn't go to sleep. So I told them, it's very easy. When you're in the hall doing your meditation, try to fall asleep, then you stay awake. When you go to bed at night, try to meditate and you fall asleep. Reverse psychology, very, very simple. Because a lot of times it's just doing things and struggling and striving and not learning how to relax. We do too much. We think too much. We plan too much. We've lost the art of just relaxing in the present moment, just being here. So in this meditation, we learn how to just be here and just learn how to relax. So what we do, we close our eyes, we sit nice and comfortably. And once you're sitting comfortably, close your eyes, it means you come into this present moment a little bit more. Because with your eyes open, you're looking at this and looking at that. It's very distracting, all these things you have to look at and see. When you close your eyes, you can go inside yourself. And the first thing we ask people to look at is, their body just sitting here. How are you? It's actually giving quality time to your own body. And a lot of times we haven't given much quality time to it at all. We're always so busy doing something else. I remember reading in this book once that even heart attacks don't come out of the blue. Your body, especially your heart, gives you many warnings, first of all. But we don't listen to it because we're too busy doing something else. And when it does come, then we have to listen to it. We go to hospital. So if you can listen to your body, feel your body, be with your body, it tells you a lot about how you are. And once you are aware of your body, in this meditation I'm going to teach in a few moments, I'm going to lead you through it so you don't have to remember very much, which is pretty good because some of you are a bit old. And just a bit, are you? But when you start to become aware of your body, see if you can be aware of how relaxed your body is or how tense it is, and what parts are relaxed and what parts are tense. Now, you probably heard before this big word mindfulness in meditation. Everyone seems to be doing mindfulness now. But what are you going to be mindful of? Mindful is being aware of something. What are you going to focus that awareness on? And one of the most useful things to focus it on in this beginning of meditation is how relaxed you are, how tense you are. It is just like in your car, you have all these dials in the front of your car which tells you how fast you're speeding, the temperature, how much gas, petrol you've still got in the car. All these dials give you an idea of how things are going. And this is another dial which you can be aware of if you pay attention. How relaxed are you? How tense are you? How's your legs? Are they relaxed or are they tense? Your bottom, your shoulders. And once you become aware of that, what I call relaxation dial inside your mind, it tells you a lot about how your body is doing. Because you'll find that some parts of it are very, very tense. So, once you have mindfulness of something, next thing you'll see how it changes. The speed goes up, the speed goes down on your speedometer, whatever you call it. And you know that if it's going too high, you can take your feet off the accelerator. If it's not going fast enough, press it down. You get feedback, which allows you to adjust the driving of your car to fit the conditions. And this relaxation meter or tension meter can also give you feedback. So you can learn what is necessary to relax your body. To relax it, relax it, relax it, relax it. And you can feel it getting more relaxed. What makes it more tense? You can feel what makes your body more tense and tight. You can feel that. And after a while, sometimes a bit of trial and error, you can learn from just being aware of how your body is going, how to really relax your body very deeply. More deeply than going to some spa in Bali, which is very dangerous these days because you don't know when you're coming back. But here in Armadale, it's very simple. You know that you're going to go back this evening, unfortunately. But you can really learn how to relax your body very, very deeply. And of course, being a monk, I know how to do that, and it's great. If ever I'm sick, I just relax my body to the max, because I know that meter, and I can relax it. One of the great stories I keep on telling people is I don't get very sick, but about 3 years ago, I think now, I got food poisoning, and food poisoning is very painful. And I was in my cave where I live. If any of you come to monastery, I'll show you my cave. And I was in my cave, lying on the floor. Ah! Oh! Ah! I say, whenever you're giving a talk, just please make it exciting. Do a bit of drama, otherwise people go to sleep. Ah! And that's what it was like, because you had these terrible cramps in your intestines, and you scream because it really hurts. Now this is down in Serpentine, and it's a waste of time. First of all, crawling to the phone, which was 100, 200 meters away from where my cave was, and then if you called and rang up 00, your call is very important to us. The next available operator will get to you as you're dying. And if they do get you, we're about 30 minutes away from this hospital. Probably by the time the ambulance got there, I'll be dead. So that's a waste of time doing it. You don't need the ambulances anyway. Those people can look after other people. So instead, I did my Buddhist first aid. Very simple. And it's very simple. I did become mindful, aware of the pain. And notice what makes it worse, what makes it better. And of course, fear. It makes it much worse. You tense up about it. I can't stand this any longer. The any longer business, going off into the future. I can't stand this any longer. You're standing it now. So what about this longer business? Just be in the present moment, and things are very easy just to be with. So present moment, be with this pain. What makes it worse? Fear, trying to get rid of it, that made it worse. And just letting it be. It's just pain. Just not controlling it, not worrying it. Letting it be. And then, as soon as I let it be, was kind to it, it just grew a little bit less painful. I always, at this point, bring in that story when I was a kid. And I did come from a poor family. We were in just a very poor part of London, just next to Shepherd's Bush, which is why I always tell people I grew up in the bush. I did. Shepherd's Bush. There's no trees there. So whenever I was playing soccer, you'd fall on the ground, scrape the skin off your knees, and I always remember running, crying to my mother, and she would just sit down and kiss it. And as soon as she gave just a little kiss to the wound, all the pain always went. I don't know if you remember that, if you had those experiences of a really kind mother or father or someone, you're really sick and they put you in bed, they stroked your hair, they were kind to you. Now that I thought was obvious, but for many people they still don't realise the power of kindness, compassion to take away pain. So that's what I was doing with my food poisoning. Just be kind to it. And the pain got a little bit less, only a tiny bit less. That was mindfulness giving me feedback, so I gave it more relaxation, more relaxation, more relaxation. It was an amazing experience. It took 20 minutes, that's all. And then the whole pain had totally vanished and gone. And I was just up and just like normal. No, not even an irritation, not even an ache left. It totally vanished. It's amazing just what you could do. Obviously, I've been meditating for years now, so I know how to do this. Mindful, gives you feedback. Whatever makes it less painful, do some more of that. Letting go, being kind. It relaxed so much that the pain vanished. And I always joke to this day, I don't know what was happening inside my guts, because these are bacteria. I know enough about science. These are some bacteria really giving you hell, messing around, raving, rioting inside your guts. And so what I thought afterwards, because I was meditating, being kind, all these bacteria had settled down and were very peacefully and calmly meditating inside my guts instead of causing me this terrible... That's what I envisioned, because I don't know much about biology. It's a long time, but these little blobs with all these tentacles coming out, and all the tentacles crossed, and they're all sitting down quietly, just breathing in, breathing out, calm. That's what I imagined. Whatever it was, and they were peaceful, and they didn't bother me from that time on. So that is actually how you can use this mindfulness to relax the body, to get rid of a lot of pains and aches, and also to make sure that you can be healthy. On Thursday, a couple of days' time, we have the cancer group coming to monastery. They always come once a year. I go to see them once a year. This is what I'm going to teach them, how to relax. So when you've got a cancer, you can relax your body and get some natural healing happening. Because when you get tense because of fear, that causes a huge amount of problem. Just relax, relax, relax. It's amazing just what you can do for your own body to relax. And there's so many people I know who've got rid of this cancer and that cancer because of some meditation. That's how it works. Mindful, relax. So this is what we're going to teach you, how to relax your body. And as you relax your body, there will always be some parts which are more tense than others. Don't just be mindful of your body, be mindful of parts of your body. Which part is really tense? Relax that part. And then there's another part which needs some relaxation. So relax it bit by bit, like having a massage. Do your feet first, and then maybe your legs or your head or whatever, your back. So do it part by part until you feel really relaxed. Now, the next part of this meditation is an interesting part which not many people teach. When your body is relaxed, it feels delightful. It's pleasurable to have a body that feels so nice. Just like you wake up on a Sunday morning, not me of course, I have to work 7 days. On the weekend, you guys have time off. That's when we work the hardest, because you come and ask me all these questions at monastery. No, or not a Mara centre. But you wake up a Sunday morning, in your bed, nice and cosy, and you know that feeling, just really relaxed and cozy, you don't want to get up. It feels very pleasurable because your body is really relaxed after a good night's sleep. Now that's a sort of pleasure which you get in this relaxation. Or if you do have the money to go to a spa or lay on a beach for a week somewhere, it feels really good. Please, if you can notice the pleasure of relaxation, because that is important later on in your meditation. Because as soon as you notice just how pleasurable it is in your body just to be relaxed and free of all this tightness and tension, you get even more relaxed. The relaxation goes to a deeper level once you notice how delightful it is. And then once the body is really relaxed, then you go to relaxing your mind. First of all, because you've been focusing on your body for a long time, when you go to your mind, all this worries about the past and the future, all your fears and family problems, government problems, business problems, money problems, we've all got heaps and heaps of problems. But when you're watching your body, you've forgotten about that for a quarter of an hour, half an hour. It's one of the reasons why people do go to the beach, to get away from it all. You have got away from it all here in Armadale. And then you go to look at your mind, it's already pretty relaxed, but you can relax your mind even more. Again, you can be mindful of how relaxed your mind is, or how tense your mind is. You find when you have all these worries and concerns and fears, your mind is like your body is really tense and tight. And you can learn from that awareness how to relax your own mind. What makes your mind feel more easy? First of all, you've got to know what I mean. Be mindful of that relaxation or ease of the mind, your emotional world, your inner world. And as you ease your mind more and more and more, you can feel it becomes really pleasant. And you find the more you relax your mind, the less you think. So you don't need to worry about stopping your thinking. Relax the mind first. And then the thinking just stops all by itself. The mind, like the body, feels so at ease. So whatever's happening in the past, just relax the past. It's okay, it's done, it's finished. Whatever's happening in the future, I've got this saying, if you worry about the future, that's looking in the future with a negative mind. Don't be negative, have a positive mind. Look at the future with a positive mind, and that's called hope. So don't worry, be hopey. That's my saying. So be hopey. So I like inventing new words, and apparently I've been saying that a long time. It's now in a dictionary called the Urban Dictionary. It gets into there first of all, and if enough people use it, then it gets into Macquarie Dictionary or Oxford Dictionary. But we're always inventing new words, and I like inventing new words. Be hopey instead of worrying. which means it takes away the pressure of what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to die. I'm going to be in big trouble. My husband's going to leave me. My wife has found another boyfriend. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what's happening in your life, but there's so many things to worry about. And none of them actually happen usually. I say whatever you worry about never happens. It's usually something much worse. So forget about it anyway. Enjoy it before it happens. So just be in this moment and don't worry about things. And then if you do think about the future with hope, and then after a while you just relax and your whole mind relaxes because you're aware of how peaceful your mind is or how agitated it is. So if you want peace of mind, look for it. How peaceful are you right now? And what makes you more peaceful? More peaceful, more peaceful, more peaceful, more peaceful. You'll find things like letting go, compassion, kindness, accepting this moment, embracing it, accepting yourself, embracing yourself as you are, accepting Ajahn Brahm as he is. I've been coming here for years. I haven't changed. So it's a waste of time thinking I will change now, Rachel. You might as well give up hope. You're always going to get a bad joke. Sometimes they're not bad jokes, they're terrible jokes. But nevertheless, that's the nature of these things. So after a while, you just relax and let things be. And then you find your mind gets very peaceful. People often say they know that they should let go. But they ask, how do I let go? And that's such a great question. How do you let go? This is where you train. You learn the skill of letting go. Because letting go is that thing which relaxes your mind. And you can be aware of how peaceful your mind is, and it gets more peaceful. Correct, that's letting go. With a little bit of practice, you learn that. And you learn it and become very skilled in it. Until that you can relax your mind like I can relax my body when it gets sick. You get a worry, you get a big shock in your life, somebody dies or there's some tragedy happens or somebody really scolds you. We all have these difficulties which sometimes hit us in our life, emotionally. We know how to relax our mind. So when everyone else is jumping up and down and screaming, we can be peaceful. Because we learn the skill of how to be at peace. And that's called meditation. So easy when you know how. So now I'm going to teach you that. But please don't expect very much, because I'm a very, very, very bad teacher. And I can prove that because some of you have been coming to this group for years and years and years and years and years and years. And you still haven't graduated. I tell people, if I was a school teacher and you kept coming back, how many years have you been coming here, Rachel? 28 years you've been coming here. She still hasn't graduated. Imagine if I was a school teacher and they still hadn't got out of high school after 28 years. I've been kicked out. I've been given the sack, showed the door. But anyway, she's learnt a lot. I hope. So anyway, that's how to meditate. So I'm going to guide you through it. So now, any questions? Good. Thank you very much. So now we can turn the lights a little bit down and we'll do some meditation. Not all off because I've got to see the clock. Yeah, very good. So it's going to be half an hour meditation roughly, give or take a day or two. So you can lean against the wall if you want to, it's really nice. That's why the wall seats are the best. Is that that's a nice bench over there, a bed. Lean against that. Very good. So here we go. So when you're ready, close your eyes. With your eyes closed, you can become more aware of your body. You're not so distracted. So the first thing is, can you move your body to get more comfortable? If you can, please move it. Just like a rocket in NASA taking off, they've got to check everything first of all. Make sure electricity is, what else? Oxygen, fuel, make sure everything is okay. How are your legs? Sometimes I do that, I ask my legs, how are you? Do you need to be adjusted? My bottom, are you comfortable on the cushion? Back, do you need to be stretched or loosened up? How are you? Shoulders, how are you doing? Sometimes people hold their shoulders so tight, so just loosen them up. And your arms and hands, are your hands comfortable? You know, of all parts of the body, people fidget their hands more than anything else. Reason is because you don't pay attention to putting your hands in a comfortable position. Please don't take them for granted. Be aware of your hands and make sure that they're comfortable. And then your head on your neck, make sure it's not leaning too far to the left or the right, too much forward, too far back. Make sure it's comfortable. And last but not least, your face. Relax your face. Don't screw down the eyes, or don't screw up the mouth. Relax all the muscles in the face as much as you can. So little by little, part by part, we relax the body. But this is only the beginning. Now, even though you've got your body as comfortable as you can by moving and adjusting it, there's much more you can do. Please now be mindful of how relaxed or how tense your body is. Especially is there a part of your body which is pretty tense, irritating, tight, painful? If there is, put your attention to that area of your body. It's called being mindful of it, being aware of the feeling. Don't be afraid of it if it's painful or irritating. Just know it. What's it feel like? And then notice how it changes. That part of your body can be more intense, more comfortable. What makes it more comfortable? What makes it more painful? And this is where you learn how to deal with those irritations and how to relax. Even having ideas, visualizations of expanding that area, you find the irritation eases off. If there's a tension, sometimes you can imagine as part of your body, and either end of these invisible monsters pulling at this muscle or tendon or even bone. They're pulling at it on either end. You imagine them letting go, like an elastic band which has been stretched. Now it becomes loose and comfortable again. Somebody once told me the trick: if you do have an intense pain, imagine a box which surrounds that part of your body which is painful. So the pain just fits inside the box. Outside the box there's hardly any pain, and inside is where all the pain is. Imagine a box. And then imagine the box expanding. Expanding. And as it expands, the pain inside the box tends to get dilute. It's less intense as it spreads out. And keep expanding it until the pain expands And every time it expands, it doubles in size. It gets half the intensity. Until you expand the pain so much, like water, it evaporates. So it goes so far you can't see any of the water anymore. The pain has been spread out and it's not there anymore. Find out what works for you. But stay with that body. Be mindful of the comfort / tension dial in the mind, on the dashboard of your body. See what you need to do to relax the body. You will discover it's letting go. Kindness, compassion, care is what relaxes your body. It is fear and control is what makes it tense. Please stay with your body, because it's important for your health and well-being. Other things you can deal with later. Now just with your own body. Is your body getting more relaxed or more tense? As your body gets relaxed, please don't leave it yet. There's always a tendency to wander off into thoughts and fantasies and dreams. Please feel your body until it really does get delightful. Your body deserves some quality time. Just imagine your body just sinking into soft cushions, like it's just been bathed in warm water, just like it's just had a massage, like you're sitting on some beautiful beach, not too cold, not too warm, without a care in the world, just being, because you deserve to relax. You deserve this time for you and your body. Is your body relaxing now? As you take away the tightness and tensions, even if there's an irritation there, just take away the tightness and irritation and the fear which surrounds that problem. until your body feels delightful, the delight of relaxation, like you feel in the early morning. Once you notice that delight of relaxation, you may also notice the body relaxes even deeper. Because the more you relax the body, the more healing and health can happen. I like to focus on my torso. There's so many organs in there. Livers and kidneys and digestive tract, heart and lungs. So much stuff in there which can get sick. I just focus on them. If I feel any imbalance, tightness, tension, I put my mind on that organ or that feeling until it relaxes all the way. The mindfulness gives you feedback, and you soon learn how even to relax your liver. Weird as it may sound, it can be done. You can only do this in the present moment, place where future's being made. The only time you ever have. Spend it with your body. And when the body is as relaxed as you think you can make it, now's the time to turn to your emotional world, the world of past and futures, worries and fears and concerns, thinking, anger, guilt, whatever. How is your mind right now? Is it peaceful, or is it concerned, agitated? And soon we can learn from experience how to be aware of the peace/stress of our mind. Once we're aware of that indicator, it's not that hard to learn what makes the mind more stressed. Worries, fears, thinking about all the business one has to do. You can leave that to the future. Or lingering in the past with all the unfinished business which you also think you need to deal with. Leave that till later. And if you're worried about being wise, you always learn much more from the present moment, from now, than you will ever learn from the past. So leave the past alone. And don't face the future until it happens. Job in meditation is just to be now. And there you will notice the peace indicator start to really get strong. No need to be aware of things like thoughts. Be aware of the underlying state of your mind, underneath the thoughts. The thoughts are like waves on the lake, asking you to be aware of the lake, the place on which these thoughts are played out. And relax that. Like I was saying, the body is so tense because it's like two invisible monsters are pulling at you until you can allow them to let go and you can relax and be natural. Sometimes the past and the future are those monsters which pull at our mind, not allowing us to relax and just to be. So the monster of the past and the monster of the future, tell them to let go. So you can just be without being pulled into the future or dragged back into the past. Let that tension, that pulling and pushing vanish. Until you're just here, just being, and learning how to relax in this moment. Some people like to become aware of their breathing at this point, just knowing the breath going in, breath going out, that's fine. But don't forget to be aware of how peaceful your mind is as it watches the breath. Where sometimes we recommend, if you are going to follow your breath, breathe in and think to yourself, breathing in peace. Breathe out, let go. Breathing in peace. Breathe out, let go. All the time noticing whether that makes your mind more peaceful or more tense. It should make it more peaceful. There is 10 minutes to go now. Now I'm going to shut up and let you carry on. how do you feel now? How peaceful are you? And what does that peace feel like? Many people talk about peace of mind. Now see if you can feel it, great or small. And know how peace of mind comes about, and how relaxation and health of the body comes. I'm now going to ring the gong 3 times. The signal to come out for the meditation is when the third sound from the gong starts to vanish. So now, following from the meditation, there's always half an hour, 25 minutes to have a little talk, and quite often there is a question in the box. There's no questions in the box, so today I have to talk outside the box. So is there any question from the floor here? What you'd like me to talk about? If not, I'll make... Yeah, go on.
The 5 aggregates.
The 5 aggregates. That's a very Buddhist thing. Is that a good thing to do?
You can do it.
I can do it. Okay, maybe I only get to the first one. This is just one old way of looking at the body and the mind. Because, in other words, who you are. So, who are you? Or who do you think you are? More to the point. So we say we've got the body, and there's 4 parts of the mind in this little way of looking at it. There's first of all the happiness and suffering which we have in all parts of our senses. And it's amazing that we all seek to get happiness. Have you achieved it yet? Because we seek for it, but then it runs away from us. And you may notice in life that what is happiness anyway? Happiness is just the pause between 2 moments of suffering. And what is suffering but just the pause between 2 moments of happiness? So easy to prove. You know, one of the happiest people I've ever saw in my time in Perth, many, many years ago, I was in the old Perth airport, just now where the domestic airport is. That was international as well, if you're as old as me. And I was waiting to receive a monk coming in a plane, and at that time some refugees from Iran came in. These, I think, were Baha'is, had been persecuted from the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And they'd finally made themselves to freedom in Australia. And when they came out from the airport, they jumped up in the air and they punched the air and they were screaming in joy. And after about 5 or 6 of these came out, in euphoria, I found myself punching the air as well. I thought, hang on, I'm not a Baha'i, and I'm not meeting this, I'm meeting somebody else. It was infectious. And sometimes I wonder, why are these people so happy? It's because all the torture they've just been through before. That's why. Why apparently Fremantle lost last week? Why were they so upset? It was because they haven't lost for weeks. And you find if they always win, they don't appreciate it anymore. There's no fun. So you have to lose to appreciate winning. Otherwise it's not there anymore. I don't know about you, but I'm the healthiest I ever feel. It's just after you've been sick. Because otherwise, it's true, Otherwise, if you're healthy all the time, you take it for granted, you don't even notice it anymore. You've been really sick, and then suddenly you get better. Oh, this is great, I can do things again. Have you ever noticed the happiness in your life? We get a competition, somebody wins a competition. Like, like Novak Djokovic, the great Buddhist. I don't know if he is, but he should be by now. Wins Wimbledon. Why is he so happy? Because of all the people who've lost. His happiness is directly in proportion to all the people who lose. If everybody won, would he be happy? No. And actually, the more people who lose, the more happy he is. So sometimes that type of happiness and suffering, you can't really do much about that. Yeah, now you're having a good time, now you win, now you lose. Getting lots of money. Have you ever won the lottery? You have if you haven't played it. Every time you don't buy a ticket, you've won. That's what I say. Because but sometimes, I'm going off the subject here, sometimes people think that they can beat the system. Can you beat the system, gambling? You can. Monks and nuns, we beat the system. It's true, because there was I've got all these stories. Over the years, I've been a monk a long time now, all these weird and strange stories. There was this nun, she was a German nun, many of you may know her, Aya Kamer. She wrote some really good books. And this nun, Aya Kamer, was teaching a meditation retreat in England. Absolutely true story. Now some of these things are jokes, this is absolutely true, even though it's funny. So she was teaching a retreat over in England, and her driver, who's an Australian girl, Anya Takta, her name is, I remember her, she came and spent some time in Bodhinyana Monastery some years ago. She was her driver, taking her from the retreat, meditation retreat, to Heathrow Airport, to go back to Australia or Germany, I forget where they were going. On the way, they stopped for lunch. Now, those of you who've been to UK know some of the lunch places, the restaurants, are right next to pubs. So to go to the restaurant, they had to go through the front of the pub and then into the restaurant by the side. So she walked quickly through the pub, just a front entrance, then into the restaurant, had a nice meal. Because she was a nun, we don't eat in the afternoon and evening, so that had to be a decent meal. So she was still finishing eating. Her driver had some coins, English coins, which there's no way she could change into Australian dollars. They're too small. So there was one of these, what they call in Australia, pokie machines, otherwise known as slot machines. So we're thinking to raise money for the nuns' monastery, we could have some pokie machines in the nuns' monastery. Is that a good idea, Rachel? No, we can make a lot of money that way. No, we can't do that. Okay, we won't. Sometimes we think of all these ideas to raise money for our organisation. And I go on the internet a lot these days, but my talks get streamed all over the world. Millions of people watch them. So I thought of having a sponsor. And during my talk, I'd open my robe and see Nike in here. When they do this in football, and just, or AIG Insurance, or Bendigo Bank. I got all these ideas, but you guys keep on saying, no, that's not appropriate. Just, not giving me a chance to show my innovative fundraising methods. Anyway, where was I going? I was going back to poker. I'm meeting the pub. Thank you so much. And anyway, so the driver was putting these coins, in the machine just to get rid of them because waste of time. And then the nun came past, and the driver said, "You're a Buddhist nun. You have all the good karma. You pull the handle." And in one moment of mindlessness, she pulled her handle. We're not supposed to do that. But she did. Only once. Just pulled it. Didn't even pull the coin and just pulled the handle. And of course, all the numbers went around. Honestly, no joke. She only pulled it once. The jackpot. And all these money came onto her brown robes. and onto the floor. Hundreds, thousands of pounds came out. She won the jackpot only once. And that's when everybody in the bar, in the pub, went quiet. Weird. I mean, just this weird lady in the brown robe, bald head, coming in, one pour, and then you got the jackpot. They all went quiet, and then the bartender had a little bell and rang it. Ding, 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 ding. And announced to this nun that it was the custom and tradition which could not be changed, that now she had to buy a round of drinks for everybody in the pub. So now this Buddhist nun had to break another precept. Which serves her right. She shouldn't have done it in the first place. But that was actually a true story. So these monks and nuns, so, maybe you can take me to the... You put the coin in, I'll pull it, and do 50-50. No? 40-30? 20? Okay. Sometimes. And where did I get on for this? I was talking about, happiness and suffering. So people get very happy they've won. Why do they get happy because they won? Because all the times they've lost. So a lot of times, that sort of happiness which people think about in this world, is it really happiness? Come on. Or is it just a gap between two moments of suffering? Because if it is that, don't worry, if you're suffering, it means happiness is coming next. I'm feeling really awful, I'm feeling very sick, which means I'm going to be happy soon. Is it? Well, sickness doesn't last anyway. When I was really sick once, I had my really bad sickness when I was in Thailand, because there's all sorts of bugs and stuff in there. I had typhus fever. That's really bad. That's like typhoid. So I was in this hospital it's a third world country, Thailand. This time, it was 1975 or something, and right up in the northeast, which is the outback of a third world country. And they put me in the monks' ward. And in the monks' ward, there's about 6 beds on either side, the old wards. And there was the nurses' station in the front. And at 6 o'clock, the nurse vanished. And no new nurse came. And I asked the other monks, what about the night nurse? Should we tell someone the night nurse hasn't come? And he told me, there is no night nurse. If you get really sick, have an emergency in the middle of the night, that's just unfortunate karma. And that was really true. There you were in a real fever next to death, and at 12 hours of the day, there was no one to help you at all. And worse than that, one of the worst experiences, because they didn't know what fever I had, what was causing it, they used to give injections twice a day in your backside. And they weren't really injections, because the nurse, I was very kind, I had lots of compassion, but I never can forgive that nurse. Because the needles, remember the old hypodermics 30 years ago? Go another 10 years back and those are the needles they used in northeast Thailand. They had to be boiled, just to sterilize them. And had to be sharpened before it. Because it's true, honestly. They never once did they inject you. On my front, and this nurse, she's not like these petite nurses they have in Australia. This lady was like some Olympic wrestler. She had to be really strong, because she never injected you, stabbed you in. Oh, and that really hurt. Twice a day. It's like going to the principal's office for the cane or something. Oh, I really hated that nurse. And that's what, twice a day, nothing works. They didn't know what it was. And then one day my teacher came in, the great Ajahn Brahm, to see me. And as soon as I saw this great monk coming to visit me, I thought, wow, I'm so privileged, I'm so lucky to see this great monk come to visit me. And my happiness only lasted for about 2 seconds. Because then, you know what he said? He was very wise, but his bedside manner was terrible. He said to me, you're either going to get better or you're going to die. Either way, it's not going to last. And then he left. You can't argue with that, can you? It's absolutely true. So I tell people, if ever you go and see your grandma in hospital, tell her, Grandma, you're either going to You're going to die. Don't worry, it's not going to last. It's not very reassuring. But it's true that these sicknesses don't last and you get better afterwards. Or if they do, they don't last, you die. Either way it ends. So what are you got to worry about? No worries, exactly. So that's why I learned how to not to worry about anything in life. It gets better or it gets worse, and it doesn't last. Because you have this very, very, very positive attitude in life. One of the stories I remember, this is actually from the Sufis. There was this monk called Nasruddin. He was a really great person because he was very funny and very wise. He was he was actually, remember Ajahn Brahm? This is one of his favourite stories. This mullah in Iran, now this is before they were extreme, when they were just really wise and kind. He was sitting in front of a pile of chili peppers, the hot ones, the little red ones. And he'd already been eating, I don't know how many, because his eyes were watering, his face was red, and then all this snot coming out of his nose. Is what happens when you eat too many chilies. And his friend, he was still putting another one in his mouth. And his friend asked him, what are you doing that for? And Nasruddin answered, because I'm looking for the sweet one. Now that is such a profound story. I know some people, and they've been getting married for the 5th time. Why are you doing that? Because I'm looking for the sweet one. So okay, there's another Nasruddin story. This is totally misogynist, but it's so funny. In his town they had a holy monk. And this holy monk was getting very old and very sick. And if ever he was sick, they loved him, and his wisdom was so profound. They didn't want him to die, so they would actually club together, get some money, get the best doctors. But even the best doctors said, no, I'm sorry, we can't do anything, he's dying. And so this big meeting, this big town meeting, what are we going to do? Our local saint is going to die, and the doctors can't heal him. What can we do? And at this meeting, one person had this brilliant idea. He said, because they believed in God, in Allah, whatever. And he said, I will donate 1 day of my life. Please, God, take 1 day and give it to this saint so he can live a bit longer. He said, well, what a great idea. Someone said, I donate 2 days. Someone said, I donate 3. I donate a whole week. And this Nasruddin put his hand up and said, I donate 20 years. And everyone fell silent. Are you sure you know what you're doing? 20 years is a lot of time to give. Are you really wanting to give 20 years of your life? And he said, oh no, not my life, my wife's. That is so outrageous. It's funny. I think it's anyway. Typical man, yeah. But the wise part about him, typical man, the wise part about him is, because he was outrageous, one day that some of his enemies accused him of blasphemy. And that's really important in the Muslim world. So it had to be, that time they had the Shah. And the Shah had to sort of investigate it and be the judge. And the poor old Shah loved this old, crazy mullah, because he was really funny and very, very original. But, he says, there's nothing I can do. What you've done is blasphemy. You shouldn't have done that. I can't do anything. You've got to be killed. You've got to be executed. That's all I can do. I'm sorry, but we have to execute you. And this mullah said, oh, that's such a shame. I was just about to teach your donkey how to fly. That's what he said. And the Shah said, what do you say? He said, I learnt this magic charm to teach donkeys how to fly. And the Shah said, can you really do it? I said, of course I can. Yeah, I can do that. But it might take me a year or so. And the Shah said, okay, because I'm interested in this. I'll commute your sentence for 1 year, and here's my donkey, you can teach it how to fly. And if it doesn't fly within 1 year, then I'll carry out the sentence. Okay, fair enough, said the mullah. So he walked out of the prison, and his friend said, you never told me that. Can you really teach donkeys how to fly? He said, of course not. Don't be stupid. Donkeys can't fly. Why did you say that for? Well, I've got another year to live. Who knows what might happen? The Shah might die of a revolution, I might die of a heart attack. I've got another year to live. I've won. I thought that was really wise. So if ever you get caught up in jail, tell the judge. I was just about to teach kangaroos how to play AFL. Much better than free metal. Well, they lost last week. Hopeless. Anyway, because they never came to the temple. Teach them to come to the temple like Novak Djokovic, and then they might do much better. So this is just happiness and suffering, because remember, there are some things, there are no sweet ones. They're hot, they're chilly. So a lot of happiness and suffering. What is actually suffering? This is a beautiful saying. Suffering is asking from this world what it can never give you. And that's why we suffer. We ask for always to be happy. You can't have happiness all the time. If you did, you wouldn't sort of appreciate it. You can't have health all the time. A little bit of sickness is just like the spice in the curry. It makes you appreciate just when it's not so damn hot. It's a little bit of disappointment in life makes you appreciate, when things go well in life. So, this is asking from life what it can't give you. Asking your husband always to be sensitive to you. Come on, get real. You're asking from this world what it can't give you. Asking your wife not to go shopping. That's also impossible. We just had a retreat. Hong Kong people and Indonesian people come, and they went on a Friday afternoon to go shopping. They should be meditating. But I know these people are just, I know that asking the people from Hong Kong not to go shopping is asking like a dog not to bark. Impossible. And I don't know why they got all the shops in Hong Kong. I'm a guy, guys can probably understand this. Why is it that people from, say, Asia come to Perth to shop, and people from Perth go to Asia to shop? It's just weird. You can understand that? No. But then the girls say, I can't understand you guys going off to see two people like kick a ball to either end and fight over a stupid ball. They can't understand that either. So anyway, just let it all go. Asking from this world what it can never give you. Asking all politicians to be honest. Just asking from the world what it won't ever give you, okay? And what else can we say? Asking, understand what life can give you. And live your life within that. And then you find happiness and peace. It's called contentment. It changes your whole idea of what perfection is. So your husband sitting next to you, he's old, he's grumpy, but it's good enough. And your old wife, getting all wrinkly. You say, that's what you say, darling, you look like $1 million, green and wrinkled. You can see why I never got married. I'd be dead by now. But anyway, no, I won't go there. I'll do all these other jokes, really bad ones. But this is actually learning how to be at peace with yourself. And don't ask from life what it can't give you. And if you actually put your happiness within those bounds, then you can be very content and very joyful. Not maybe happy, but at peace, which is another type of happiness, even deeper than just all this winning and losing business. You're content with yourself and content with life. Now that is happiness. Happiness is not asking from life what it can't give you. Being at peace with that, being content. Okay. Any questions about that? Not so. I've done one of the 5 canvas. So maybe next time. Yeah. Okay. Any comments or questions about me just having fun? The Nasruddin stories were very nice. I apologise if I offended anybody, but I'm going on a retreat soon, so I'm escaping. When I usually tell jokes overseas, I'm saying I'm leaving the country tomorrow, and they say just as well.